There we go. Excellent. So welcome everybody this morning. I'm sure, well, I'm assuming you all know that I'm Sally, and I'm joined here this morning by Jane Russell, who's one of our account managers, who hopefully some of you already know. Just the usual bit of housekeeping. The session's recorded, so if you want to share it with your colleagues, I nearly said friends and family, but I'm sure you won't want to share it with them, then you will be able to. Any questions, pop them in the chat box. I'm hoping you're going to be a little bit chatty today. Yeah, and other than that, just thank you very much for attending this morning. So I'm just going to run through a little bit of a presentation with you. So you're going to get more than you bargained for really this morning. So I was just going to show you how to set up an event within Attribute and link it to a Just Giving page, but we are in throes of making huge updates to our events platform, because of the wake of or because of the demise of Virgin Money Giving. We've brought that development forward. So when I first originally planned this webinar, our events development wasn't really imminent, but it is now. So we're not going to focus too much on actually how things work on our Tribute service, because come February, it will look a little bit different. So I really just wanted to take this opportunity to maybe kind of just have a little look at in memory through events, and maybe consider how we can make better connections between in memory and events. I've got a few ideas on how you can interact and engage with your events team colleagues. Jane has got some fantastic examples of some of our Tribute pages that have got events hosted on them. We're going to look at some dedication pages, since you've all got access to that service as well through your partner area. And how that they can support existing events. We'll show you how to create the event within Attribute, and also I'm just going to give you a little bit of a flavour of the updates that will be happening next year. So a couple of questions to pose to you this morning. So who is taking part in your in memory events? Do you know? Do you know the profile of your supporters? I looked back for a little bit of research, and Legacy Foresight did some research on this in 2015. And whilst that is a long time ago, and the face of fundraising has changed quite considerably since, I think the principles probably still apply. So they suggested that people under 55 were more likely to take part in an in memory motivated fundraising event. They highlighted that more women were taking part in these events than men, and that they were more likely to be taken part in within 2 years of a bereavement. So, you know, I would be interested to know if that kind of correlates with your own supporter base. So pop any comments in the chat box, because I think everybody else would like to know as well. The other thing I wanted to look at was, do your in memory motivated event participants raise more? Now, I can't tell you that, but we did a little bit of number crunching on our own platform, and from November, so just last month, we saw an increase in 263% in the amount raised if the Tribute had an event on it. So that's quite considerable, and I think it certainly proves that actually, if your fund holders are encouraged to take part in events, or you're encouraging your fund holders to encourage their friends and family to take part in events, then you will increase your Tribute fund income for sure. The other question I wanted to ask was, do you collect your event participants' motivation? So Legacy Foresight in the same research highlighted that in memory motivated events are more likely to be repeated. And we've certainly seen that to be the case from some of the events set up on our own platform. And Jane's going to share an example of some young guys that set up a rugby match in memory of a friend last year. And I think with the right sort of stewardship, that could certainly be the sort of event that could be repeated, certainly for a couple of years after their friend had died. So just a few ideas on how to interact and engage with your events team's colleagues. So Catherine and Jackie did a presentation on sort of internal promotion a couple of months ago. So I've just taken some of the key principles from that to share with you this morning. Increasing awareness. So don't assume that your colleagues know what tributes are. I mean, obviously I'm talking to a really mixed audience, and some of you will be in really small fundraising teams and others may come from national charities. So, you know, depending on kind of, if you're in a national charity, then certainly don't assume that your colleagues know what tribute funds are. So do try to kind of increase awareness and try to get their buy-in and their enthusiasm. And obviously, if you can help to sort of share the workload of promoting your tribute funds to your supporters, you know, by engaging your colleagues, it will help you to share the workload, because you never know who's going to speak to a potential fund holder supporter. So engaging with them will help you to promote your tribute funds. And consider how you're going to promote that internally. So bite-sized pieces of information regularly, that might be an all-staff email, you might have an intranet. Everybody has different ways of communicating within their organisation. Some of the things that you might want to highlight are maybe a particular tribute has had lots of interaction on it. So maybe people have left lots of candles or thoughts or messages, or maybe a series of a nice timeline has been included in a tribute page. So it doesn't necessarily have to be promotion because of fundraising. It could be that they've raised lots of money. It could be that they've set up lots of events, or they've set up a particular event that's kind of caught your eye. Or maybe you've got a new series of virtual gifts, because if you're an Optimum partner, then you can have your own bespoke virtual gifts and a folder of them. And maybe, you know, you've updated them and added a few new gifts and you'd like to share that with your colleagues so they're aware. So there's lots of different ways that you can just kind of provide little snippets of information just to keep that kind of regular flow of information about tribute funds to your colleagues. I think we have to have seen something, I don't know, 6 to 8 times in order for it to kind of embed in our subconscious, and then we know. And the other thing that you could do maybe is include it on your induction training as well. So anyone new coming in through the service, through the organisation, doesn't kind of get left off. You know, making sure that your content is interesting and engaging, and we've talked about some of the examples that you could use there. And also make sure that you recognise and thank your colleagues for promoting your tribute fund scheme. So, you know, that might just be a small email, or actually if they're events colleagues and they, as a result, had a few people taking part in some of their events, then maybe that's thanks enough that you've helped to increase their income. So hopefully that gives you a few ideas. It is a bit of a whistle-stop tour this morning, but I'm going to hand over to Jane now, who's going to talk through some of the examples that we've got of events pages within our tributes.
Morning, everyone. I hope you can all see my screen okay. So here are a couple of examples of some of our tribute pages that are hosting events. Obviously, the one that your eyes are drawn to is Rob Burrows' Fight Back Fund, which has had an enormous amount of money raised through all kinds of events, quite a lot of them done by Kevin Sinfield, who I'm sure you've all heard about. Rob's page is actually a living tribute, and if anyone is interested in those, just let us know and we can switch that on in your partner area. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take you through and show you a couple of other tributes and show you the fundraising that is going on with them. So this is a tribute for Frank, and his daughter has been fundraising for bowel cancer for an awfully long time. And I'll show you, there's just event after event after event that she has set up and used to fundraise in memory of her father. And if you have a look at one of the actual events, you can see here in the narrative, she's been fundraising for bowel cancer for the last 10 years. which is a wonderful thing to see.
Actually, Jane, has she got repeat events on there?
That's a good question.
Whisk
I
through
think
them.
actually she just does different things all the time,
Let's
which
have
is
a-
great. So she's always coming up with different ideas of what to do. A lockdown holiday, walk together, Pyrenees Freedom Trail. So she's done all kinds of things. Transylvania.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, incredible.
Yeah.
And then this one is for Carla. As you can see, there's again a load of events added onto the page, and all by different people, so that it shows that friends, family members have all gone on and set up their own events to fundraise in memory. They also held a ball in 2019, and as Sally mentioned, this is the kind of thing that can become an annual event. I'm sure COVID put a halt to it for the last couple of years, but it may well be that they do something like this again next year with a bit of luck.
Oh, Jane, Sarah from Bowel Cancer said, what was the lady called on the first tribute you showed?
Oh, Regina.
Yeah, Regina. So she said she repeats her own event of the East Midlands Airport to Nottingham Centre event. Run.
Okay.
It's a run.
Okay. Well, that's great.
Yeah. And the one that you showed afterwards, I mean, it's so amazing. There's so many different people involved in this tribute page.
Yeah, and so many different events as well. So many different things that you can do.
So it's got such a wide reach of people. It's quite fantastic, actually.
Vicky turning 30 and jumping out of a plane. And, you know, they've got celebrities to partake as well, all kinds of people getting involved. And as Sally mentioned, this is two of Ben's friends decided to set up a memorial rugby match so that the friends and family could come together and celebrate Ben's life. Again, this is exactly the kind of thing that would be a wonderful annual event that the friends can come to. And also the nice thing about annual events is people then attend them and they start to make their own connections with people, and they continue to attend going forward, which is really nice. This is a tribute for Paul, where his son Peter ran in memory for his father. And the reason I wanted to show you this is in the narrative about and where he's explaining why he's done the run. Not only is he doing it in memory of his dad, but he's also doing it to help others, because he doesn't want anybody else to find themselves in the position that he and his father unfortunately did. So, you know, it's a big motivation for him to do the event. And the last one I'm showing you is one of our hospice partners who actually use one of our tribute pages as an events page, where they ask all their supporters to add their event to the page, which is nice because they're providing a space for them all to come together, and they can all add the reason that they're doing the run and have their own connection with the page and give a little story about why they are doing the run, coming together as a family to remember someone. So you can use our tribute pages for events, but we also have our wonderful dedication pages. So I'm going to show you a couple of those as well. This is a page that Northern Ireland Chest, Heart and Stroke set up to for those that were taking part in the Belfast City Marathon. Fantastic page, really nice bright banner. And what they've done is they've uploaded all the photographs that the professional photographer took, but also you could ask your supporters that took part in the event to upload their own photos. People can go on and add a message of support and also a reason why they're taking part in the run.
So these dedication pages could almost be your gift to your events fundraising colleagues, because they may not necessarily bring in extra income, but actually they can be used as a really nice place for people to be able to kind of come together virtually. And we've had quite a few charities use them in that way. So Alzheimer's Society set one up for their Elf Day event, you know, as an opportunity for people to be able to share their pictures of how they kind of got involved in the event. So for them, it wasn't a fundraising tool, although obviously you can collect donations through dedication pages, but just created more of a sort of community feel and a place for people to be able to come together.
And also it's a nice way to publicly acknowledge the efforts of everybody that are, you know, that are generally fundraising for you and taking part in the event. So it's a fantastic platform. You can also use them not just for in memory, but also as a means of saying, sending messages of support. This is Young Lives versus Cancer, where they enabled people to say thank you to someone, send a message of support to someone. So it's a really lovely, vibrant, positive page where people can add their messages. Then we have the walk, Stroke Association, a walk to remember. Again, people can visit the dedication page, they can add a photo, they can add a map of their walk, and they can add the reason why they're walking. This one's lovely for Norma Gould, the grandmother, where they're explaining why they're walking to all these places. And the last one I want to show you is St Joseph's Hospice in Hackney, who had a virtual pet show. Unfortunately, our virtual life might continue for the foreseeable future. So this is a fantastic page, really nice, fun banner. People are able to upload a photo of their pet and also a bit of a story about them, even little Arnie Schwarzenegger. So as I said, it just gives your supporters a public platform where they can share a picture and also a reason why they're involved with this. So what I'm going to do now is just quickly remind you.
Sorry, Jane, should we just ask if there's any questions on that before we kind of move on? Do type them into the chat box. Or actually, if you want to raise your hand, I'll switch your mic on if you want. Anyway, we'll just give everyone a minute to. So we've been asked how many dedication pages can you have at any given time? So you can use as many dedication pages as you can manage. There are templates for you to use in your partner area, so you can just click on there and go and set one up instantly if you want to. If you want a bespoke page, then just get in touch with us from kind of January next year. There will be a small administration charge of £130 plus VAT for a bespoke page. So if you want your own banner image, that is a bespoke page. But you can have as many as you like, as many as you can manage. And we've got some accounts that have got probably 10 going. Some of the bigger charities are using them, quite actively.
And with the templates, we've got a portfolio of, I don't know how many at the moment, but we are looking to add to those continually throughout the year so that there'll always be different options of templates that you can use. And obviously you add your own logo and your own wording. So any other questions? No? Okay, well then what I'll do is quickly just refresh your memory on how to add an event. Really straightforward. Click on contribute and you'll see here add an event. Click on add an event and then you've got two options, either create a new event which will fundraise through the tribute page itself or link to a Just Giving page. So if you're creating an event to fundraise through the page, you simply click on create a new event. Add the name, add a bit of information, when the event's taking part, and just continue to complete all the information and then click on add my event. Alternatively, if you are going to link to a Just Giving event, you simply copy and paste the URL from the Just Giving event here and it will pull over all the information from the existing Just Giving page. And I'll just take you through that to show you how it works. So this is Emily Styles Forever Fund page where Alex decided to do a walk. £551 was raised and the most recent donation was a £10 anonymous donation. So you'll see if I click on donate, you are then taken, signposted to the Just Giving page. So we'll go to the Just Giving page and you can see here that it was Alex's walk and £551 was raised. and the most recent donation was a £10 anonymous donation. So let's just pop back to Emily's tribute. And you can see that all the information from the Just Giving page has been pulled across, and it will sit on the tribute under the umbrella of the tribute, so you can see all the fundraising that's taking place in the one place. So it's really quick, it's really easy. So it's a very useful tool for you to have. So that's about all from me, unless anyone's got any questions. And what I will do now is pass you back over to Sally.
Excellent, thank you, Jane. Right, let me just share my... So just to finish with, I just wanted to give you a little taster of what's going to happen next year. So the new event features will be released early February, and I'll let you know as soon as they are ready. Oh, and we will be running a webinar. Sorry, I've got really croaky voice. We will be running a webinar on the 23rd of February, highlighting all of the new features on the new release of our event. So I've just popped the register link for that session in the chat box. So if you want to sign up and join us and learn more about it, then please do. But just to give you a few kind of ideas of how it's going to change. So at the moment on our platform, events and kind of donations are together. So we're separating those out. So events will have their very own section within a tribute page. The events themselves are going to look much more visual, a little bit more in line with how Just Giving pages look. So they'll have a nice large cover image as well as a fundraiser image, and the person creating the event will be able to log in, and they'll be able to amend their page really easily. They'll be able to upload additional images. So they'll be able to have a selection of images very similar to the Just Giving pages. They'll also be able to put in live streaming information. So if they want to live stream their event, they'll be able to put the correct links into their event page and be able to show that from their event page within their Much Love Tribute. The way that the pages are created will be much simpler. So the form, it's not particularly complicated now, but we're simplifying that even further and just making it easier and more accessible for people to be able to set up. At the moment, the Tribute Guardian doesn't have access to be able to edit events. So we're switching that on because we get lots of comments from Tribute Guardians asking if they can kind of edit events, change spelling mistakes, that kind of thing. And then finally, which I think is one of the most exciting things that we're doing on the development, and I couldn't show you, and I can't tell you for sure what it's going to be called, but for the moment we're kind of calling it broadcast events. But essentially, you will be able to preload event information through your partner area, and then those details for those events will then display on your tribute. So just tributes created through your own service, not tributes created by funeral directors that have chosen to support you. So just tributes created through your own service. But it's a fantastic way for you to be able to promote kind of mass participant events. So maybe walks or Santa Dash type runs, that kind of thing, maybe even kind of Elf Day events. Those kind of events. So your supporters and your fund holders will be able to see those events listed under their event section within their tribute and be able to select them and take part. And you can preload all of the information, so the right coding and the right wording and all of that kind of stuff. So hopefully that makes you feel quite excited about what's to come. It'll be available on all our tributes, so whatever kind of type of partner you are, you'll have access to it. And we'll provide more information about that in our February webinar. So that's it for today, actually. So any questions, do feel free to pop them in the chat box, or if you want to have a chat, then put your hand up and we'll turn your mic on. If there's nothing, no comments from this morning, then all there's left for me to do is wish you all a very lovely Christmas. I hope you get the opportunity to have a rest and you stay healthy. and you have some fun, and we'll look forward to seeing you again in January. So our next webinar is actually I think in should have had this prepared really, shouldn't I? Jason will pop it in the chat box, I'm sure, because he's running it. So the next one is Wednesday, the 26th of January, and that is on insight into the funeral industry, and we'll make sure that you receive a link to that. Excellent. So thank you very much, everyone. Lovely to see you, and look forward to seeing you all in the new year.